Katie Almon reporting for Katie Chats here at Technicolor in downtown Toronto with producer Marc Almon. How does it feel to have your film Blackbird premiering here at TIFF?
It feels fantastic. It's been a great honor. We had our world premiere last night, and the audience, reaction was exceptional. So I'm very pleased to be here.
What did you do when you found out the news?
What's very interesting is that Toronto gave us sort of a heads up early on that they really loved the film and they wanted it, and as a result, we were sort of made aware of the fact that they wanted the program much earlier than is usual, and that actually allowed us to sort of say, is this where we want to have the world premiere? Is this like the way we want to position the film? And of course with TIFF we decided that really made the most sense because it's just an amazing event. So.
How did you originally get involved in the project?
I was actually involved with the project from the very beginning. What happened was that I approached Jason Buxton, the director of the film, and said that I wanted to work with him as a producer. And Jason had made 3 short films, 2 of which had appeared at TIFF previously. And I thought he was brilliant, and I felt that he needed support. There didn't seem like there's more established producers in our area of the country. We didn't seem to be sort of trying to reach out to Jason and try and help him, and so I thought, well, it might be very interesting for an emerging producer, an emerging director to work together. And that really did work out very, very well, because we were able to start working together immediately as a team, as co-equals on the project. And so we got development funding from Telefilm and Harold Greenberg Fund and from Nova Scotia, and we brought on an executive producer named Tom Fitzgerald, who's a brilliant filmmaker from the East Coast. And then as the project became more and more advanced, I brought on my producing partner, David Miller, and we just really put together, I think, a strong team that has resulted in an excellent film.
What is at the heart of the story?
So the heart of Blackbird is that it's about a troubled teenager, this sort of punk goth kid living in a small town, Nova Scotia, and because of a terrible misunderstanding, he's accused of planning a school shooting, and because of that situation, he's thrown into prison and basically has to try and fight for his redemption while trying to survive in prison. It's a very intense film. When we were trying to sort of raise the money for it, we were pitching it as like Shawshank Redemption set in juvie. It has quite a bit of a different tone than that, but I do think it has that critical. There's just something really compelling about the situation that Sean finds himself in, and it's something that I think a lot of people need to look at the film in terms of how it provides a viewpoint for teenagers in a world in which we can judge them very quickly because of the things that they say online. So.
How did you go about casting the film?
So we were extremely fortunate with the casting of the film. We were able to bring on Connor Jessup, who was at the time just beginning. He had just finished filming the first season of Falling Skies, which is a huge series down in the United States that's produced by Steven Spielberg. And Connor is a brilliant up-and-coming actor. In fact, he's a rising star at TIFF this year. And he was just a perfect match for the material and for our lead. We also found Alexia Fast. We were able to work with Toronto-based casting directors John Comerford and Brian Levy, and they were able to point us in the direction of some really exciting up-and-coming talent like Connor. There's Alexia Fast, who's based in Vancouver, and she's starring opposite Tom Cruise in his next movie, Jack Reacher. We have another young actor here from Toronto, Alex Ozerov. It was his first major film role. Just an amazing new talent. And Michael Buey, who's based in a Canadian based in LA. He's been in Mystery Alaska and several other sort of Hollywood films. But this was, I think, a really sort of juicy role for him. So it was a great script that allowed us kind of to reach out to some exceptional talent, a lot of which is like sort of this emerging talent, and that we luckily happened to grab just as their careers were beginning to take off.
What was it like working with the director Jason Buxton?
So Jason is a good friend of mine, and it was really neat to see him grow as a writer and as a director from, with this project. We worked on it for, it was in development for 4 years. And it took a long time to get, the project ready, to get the financing in place. But I learned a great deal from Jason. He's a tremendous director. And he, you realize the enormous patience he has to try and get it right. He puts so much work into the casting process. I mean, I think he really illustrated that rule of Robert Altman's, where the director's job is like 90% casting. He spent so much time trying to find the right cast. And he also, I think he made some bold choices because we only had 20 days to shoot this film, and it was a very big film with 40 speaking parts and 100 different scenes, and so it meant that he had to be very specific as to what he wanted to capture. And I was really blown away by how decisive Jason was, and how he had a very clear vision in place.
And what types of projects do you hope to develop in the future?
At this point, I'd like to do a comedy. After doing a really intense drama like that, it was a really great experience, but I'd like to do something quite different. So I'm working on a romantic comedy right now called A Good Girl. That's I'm working with a writer named Jonathan Williams, who has a short film actually in the TIFF this year called Canoe Jacked. And it's I think a terrific comedy about basically a man, sort of this inventor type character who sort of gets involved with two women at the same time, and they sort of represent the two sort of facets in his life. One being this young, very vivacious 18-year-old college girl who is really just like not a proper match at all. But our hero is like in his mid-30s, but you realize in a way he's trying to hold on to his youth. And at the same time, it endangers this relationship start developing with a woman that's sort of a much better match for him. And I think it's kind of a nice story about how a lot of people and my age are having trouble sort of with the idea of getting older, settling down, and pursuing. I don't know, just looking at the idea of pursuing a family and having. I don't know, something different from what they were experiencing in their 20s.
And where is the best place to find out more information on you and on Blackbird and your upcoming projects online?
So there's a website, blackbirdthemovie.com, and as well there's a Facebook page, Twitter account. We have a lot of resources online to help promote the film. Connor and Alexia already have legions of fans online, which is great for the film. And I just recommend checking out the website. We have a great trailer.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, and enjoy the rest of your time here at TIFF.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks. I'm Katie Almon reporting for Katie Chats here at Technicolor in downtown Toronto.